Hello and welcome to another new episode of Learning Simplified. In our previous tutorial, we had learned about how to download and install Inkscape into our project. And now in this video, we are going to learn about the difference between Vector and Raster graphics that we were talking about on some earlier occasions. Stay tuned. In our previous video, we had seen how to download and install Inkscape into our computer. Now, in this particular case, all we are going to do, we are going to know the difference between Raster graphics and the Vector graphics. Now, Raster graphics or a bitmap image is a dot matrix data structure that uses rectangular grid, usually known as pixels. And it looks something like this one. This is a rectangle. This is practically a square of 1 unit length and 1 unit breadth. And this kind of box is practically being used by this Raster Graphics software in case to display the proper image across our device. So this is a unit of display in kind of Raster graphics. But the main problem regarding this kind of display properties is if we want to stretch them like this one, if we just stretch them, all we can see that the image quality will be deteriorated. Here it goes. Raster graphics is a resolution dependent display. This is the first thing that we need to keep in our mind, that it depends upon a particular resolution to display its graphics. They cannot scale up to an arbitrary resolution without losing the quality of the image. And this is why whenever we stretch our image to a higher resolution, all we can see that there is a little bit of deterioration of the image into our project. This is the main problem regarding this Raster graphics software. But in case of a vector graphics, these are digital images. Those are defined in terms of points on a Cartesian plane. All these points are connected in terms of lines and curves in an order to build up a shape or an object. Now, this is a definite point that we need to look through. Here comes a definite line or curve that we have made into our Inkscape vector graphics, and if we double click onto it, we can see that these are the points or nodes. Those practically construct this definite shape here. So all these points are practically connected to form into a line or curve. And the second thing is the position of all those points are practically defined in terms of mathematical interpretation, in terms of XY coordinate. So all those points are practically defined in terms of some Cartesian plane, and that is why it is a mathematical interpretation. Practically this line is comprised of some kind of mathematical interpretation together to form into this individual line or curve, and all these nodes or points, those are practically joined or connected with each other. So this is the main advantage of a vector graphics software. It is not definitely a resolution dependent software, and that is why if we stretch, for say we are pressing this plus sign there, and we can see that now it is zoomed in, still this individual graphics quality, it retains its properties. There's absolutely no fall or no quality deterioration observed into this individual line or curve, as it is using a mathematical interpretation to represent its curves, its nodes, and those lines or shapes. So this is the main difference between a vector graphics and a Raster graphics software. A Raster graphics software is resolution dependent, and that is why on stretching, it deteriorates its quality. But a vector graphics software is a mathematical interpretation to store information regarding these points or nodes and all those lines or curves to represent the overall graphics. And that is why on expanding or on zooming into infinite, we won't be seeing any kind of quality deterioration into that individual element, into that individual vector graphics object. So this is the main difference between vector and the raster graphics software. The next important thing is color bit information.